Think about the last time you had to ask a friend for a huge favor. Maybe your car broke down or you needed a place to crash for a week. Do you remember that specific tight feeling in your chest, that little voice whispering, "I hope I'm not being a burden"? In the West, we are raised to be islands. We are taught that being an adult means standing on your own 2 feet, and that needing someone really needing them is a sign of weakness. It's a bit like a game of social debt. If I lean on you, I owe you. We call it being clingy, we call it being needy, we treat dependency like a sticky mess we need to clean up as fast as possible. But across the ocean, there is a word that suggests we might have it all wrong. It's a word that describes the sweetness of letting go. A word that suggests the strongest thing you can do is assume, without asking, that someone will catch you. In Japan, they call it Amae. It doesn't translate to clinginess, it doesn't translate to love. It's something much older and much more primal. Imagine a baby reaching for its mother. The baby doesn't think, "Am I overstepping my bounds?" The baby just knows that the mother is an extension of its own self. That is the seed of Amae. The word itself comes from Amae, which means sweet. It's the same word you'd use for a piece of candy or a ripe peach. In the 1970s, a psychiatrist named Takeo Doi realized something startling while studying in America. He felt a strange coldness in Western friendships. He noticed that in the West, we are obsessed with being individuals. We want to be free, but Doi realized that this freedom can be incredibly lonely. He looked back at his home in Japan and saw a social glue that didn't exist in English. Amae is the logic of presumed indulgence. It is the silent, comfortable request to be pampered. It's the feeling of being allowed to be a little bit spoiled by someone else's kindness. To a Western ear, that sounds like a red flag. It sounds like a lack of boundaries, but what if those boundaries are actually walls? What if the thing we fear most, dependency, is actually the secret to feeling truly secure? Now let's look at the wall we've built in the West. We have this idea called secure attachment. You might have heard of it. It's the gold standard of psychology. In this model, the perfect person is like a high-tech satellite. You have a home base, usually your parents or a partner, and they give you just enough fuel and signal so you can fly away and explore the dark. Cold corners of space all by yourself. We think the goal of growing up is to need people less. If you stay too close to the home base, we worry. We call it enmeshment. We call it a failure to launch. We are terrified of the person who can't cook for themselves, or decide for themselves, or stand alone. But the Japanese view of a healthy person looks more like a bridge than a satellite. In the West, we say, "I am me and you are you." In Japan, the space between us, the ma, is actually where the me lives. Amae is the bridge that connects us. Think about the difference between a contract and a gift. A contract is clear. I give you $5, you give me a coffee. We are even, we are independent. But a gift creates a beautiful, lingering tether. If I give you something and you accept it, we are now bonded. Amae is the ultimate gift. It is the act of saying, "I am going to behave like a child for a moment, and I am going to assume you are kind enough to catch me." And here is the kicker. The other person feels good because you trusted them enough to fall. Takeo Doi noticed that Westerners are often exhausted. We are constantly negotiating. We have to ask, "Is it okay if I stay over? Or do you mind if I vent for a second?" Every request is a tiny transaction that costs us a bit of our pride. We are so busy protecting our autonomy that we forget how to breathe in the presence of another person. In Japan, Amae allows you to skip the negotiation. It's the husband who comes home and expects his wife to have noticed he's tired without him saying a word. It's the junior employee who makes a small mistake, half expecting their boss to cover for them like an older brother. To us, that looks like being irresponsible. To them, it is the highest form of trust. It is the belief that we are not separate islands, but parts of the same body. If my left hand is hurt, it doesn't apologize to the right hand for needing help. It just receives the help. That is the logic of presumed indulgence. It isn't a lack of boundaries, it is a different shape of safety. In the West, safety is having a fence. In Japan, safety is knowing there is no need for a fence because you are already home. Let's sit with that for a second. Imagine the relief of not having to be strong for just 10 minutes. Imagine if needing someone wasn't a debt you had to pay back, but a way of telling them, I belong to you and you belong to me. This challenges everything we think we know about being a grown-up. We think being an adult means closing the door and being self-sufficient. But maybe, just maybe, the most mature thing a human being can do is admit that we never really stop being that baby reaching out for a hand. The difference is just in how we name the reach. But if Amae is this beautiful, sweet bridge, why does it feel so dangerous to a Western mind? Why does the idea of presumed indulgence make our skin crawl just a little bit? It's because we have a different definition of dignity. In the West, your dignity is built on your independence. You are the captain of your ship. If you let someone else take the wheel, you aren't a captain anymore, you're a passenger. But in Japan, dignity is found in the harmony of the group. If you refuse to lean on anyone, you aren't being strong, you're being cold. You're actually being selfish because you're denying someone else the chance to take care of you. Think about that for a second. By refusing to show your soft underbelly, you are keeping everyone else at arm's length. You are saying, I don't need you, which in a culture built on Amae is almost an insult. Now let's look at the workplace. In a Western office, if you don't know how to do something, you ask for a training manual or you Google it. You try to solve it yourself first, you want to show you're competent. But in Japan, a junior might linger near a senior's desk, looking slightly troubled, not saying anything. They are performing a version of Amae. They are creating a space for the senior to step in and help. When the senior helps, they aren't just teaching a skill, they are building a bond. The senior feels needed and the junior feels protected. It's a dance. And like any dance, it has a shadow. If Amae is the sugar, there is a bitter tea that goes with it. It's called Inryo. Inryo is restraint. It's the self-control you practice to make sure you aren't using too much Amae. Because if you just take and take and take, you aren't practicing Amae. You're just being a brat. You're being selfish. The whole system relies on this delicate, invisible scale. You indulge me today, and I hold back my needs tomorrow so you have room to breathe. It's not a debt that needs to be paid back in cash. It's a rhythm of breathing in and breathing out together. This challenges the Western idea of boundaries because, in this world, boundaries aren't fixed walls. They are more like the surface of a bubble, stretching, moving, and sometimes merging. When we talk about secure attachment in the West, we often mean I am safe because I know I can survive without you. But Amae suggests a different kind of security. I am safe because I know I will never have to. This brings us to a really interesting psychological fork in the road. In the West, we think autonomy is the end goal of evolution. We think we start as helpless babies and evolve into independent heroes. But Amae suggests that we don't actually evolve ** of dependency. We just evolve into better ways of being dependent. We move from the mindless dependency of an infant to the mindful, poetic dependency of a partner, a friend, or a citizen. It's the difference between being a loose brick and being part of an arch. A brick on the ground is independent. It doesn't need anything. But it also isn't doing anything. A brick in an arch is leaning with all its weight on the bricks next to it. It is completely, utterly dependent. But because of that leaning, because of that shared pressure, the arch can support a whole cathedral. Without that weakness of leaning, the strength of the building wouldn't exist. So when we look at our own lives, we have to ask, are we trying to be bricks on the ground? Are we so afraid of being clingy that we've forgotten how to be part of an arch? Maybe the reason we feel so much burnout and so much individualistic fatigue is because we are trying to hold up the whole roof by ourselves. We've been told that needing someone is a glitch in our software, but Amae tells us that needing someone is the core of our operating system. So here we are, standing at the edge of this realization. We've spent so much time polishing our armor, making sure no one can see the cracks, making sure we never have to owe anyone a thing, but look at that armor. It's heavy, it's cold, and inside it we are often starving for the very thing we're trying to avoid. The truth is, Amae isn't a Japanese secret, it's a human one, we all have it. It's that tiny, quiet hope that when we walk into a room, someone will notice we've had a bad day without us having to make a speech about it. It's that desire to just stop performing, to let someone else be the strong one for an hour. In the West, we've pathologized this, we've turned it into a symptom. We see a person leaning and we think, fix them. We see a person indulging another and we think that's enabling. But what if the leaning is the fix? What if the indulgence is the cure for the deep modern ache of being alone? Think about the word autonomy for a second. It literally means self-law. It's the idea that you are your own tiny country with your own tiny borders. But Amae suggests that the most beautiful parts of life happen in the no man's land between us. It challenges our definition of secure attachment by suggesting that real security isn't having a sturdy parachute. It's the knowledge that there is no ground to hit because you are being held. If we stop seeing dependency as a dirty word, the world starts to look different. The neighbor who needs help with their groceries isn't a nuisance. They are offering you a gift. They are giving you the chance to be the mother, space the indulgence, space they are bringing you into the arch. The next time you feel that itch in your chest, that fear of being too much or too needy, I want you to try something. Instead of pulling back, instead of building the wall higher, try to lean. Don't ask for permission. Don't negotiate. Just trust. It is the scariest thing an independent person can do, but it is also the only way to taste that sweetness Takeo Doi was talking about. We spend our whole lives trying to grow up. Maybe the real trick is learning how to be small again in the company of people we trust. Because in the end, we aren't islands, we aren't even bridges, we are the air between the notes of a song. And a song only works because the notes agree to rely on one another. So I leave you with this: who are you allowing to indulge you, and more importantly, whose indulgence are you brave enough to presume?